passed the Anchor Inn toward the town wharf. The harbor was as calm as a mill pond, a great sheet of black water stretching to the dim silhouette of Loud's Island, the boats lined up by the tide like white ghosts. The pepper can buoy marking the channel at the mouth of the narrow harbor blinked its light. Blink, blink, blink. Above, the heavens swirled with phosphorescence. She angled across the parking lot, past the lobster co-op, and headed onto the wharf. The strong smell of herring bait and seaweed drifted on the damp night air from a stack of old lobster traps at one end of the pier. The lobster joint hadn't opened yet for the summer season, and the outdoor picnic tables were still turned up and chained to the railings. Back up the hill, she could see the lights of the town and the steeple of the Methodist church, a black spire against the Milky Way. "Hey!" Jackie stepped out of the shadows, the red glow of a joint bobbing in the dark. "What's that?" "A telescope." Abby took the joint and inhaled sharply, with a crackle of burning seeds. She exhaled and handed it back. "A telescope?" asked Jackie. "What for? What else is there to do around here but look at the stars?" Jackie grunted. "How much was it?" $700. Got it on eBay. A Celestron 6-inch Cassegrain, automatic tracking, a camera and everything." A low whistle. "You must be getting some good tips over at the landing." "They love me over there. I couldn't get bigger tips if I was giving out blowjobs." Jackie burst out laughing, wheezing smoke and coughing. She passed the joint back, and Abby took another long hit. "Randy's getting out of Maine State," said Jackie, lowering her voice. "Oh, God. Randy can sit on a lobster buoy and rotate 5 times. Jackie muffled a laugh. "What a night," Abby said, staring at the immense bowl of stars. "Let's take some pictures." "In the dock?" Abby looked over to see if she was kidding, but there was no wry smile on those lips. She felt a wave of affection for her dim, lovable friend. "Believe it or not," Abby said, "telescopes work better in the dark." "Right. That was stupid." Jackie knocked on her own head. "Hello?" They walked out to the end of the pier. Abby set up the tripod, making sure it was anchored on the wood planking. She could see Orion hanging low in the sky and aimed the telescope in that direction. Using the computer star finder attached to the telescope, she punched in a preset location. With a whirring of worm gears, the telescope slewed around to point at a patch at the bottom of Orion's sword. "What are we going to look at?" "The Andromeda Galaxy." Abby peered into the eyepiece, and the galaxy sprang into view, a glowing maelstrom of 500 billion stars. She felt her throat constricting with the thought of the immensity of it, and her own smallness. "Let me see," said Jackie, sweeping back her long, unruly hair. Abby stepped back and silently offered her the eyepiece. Jackie fitted her eye to it. "How far away is it?" 2.25 million light years. Jackie stared for a while in silence, then stood up. "Think there's life out there?" "Of course." Abby adjusted the telescope, zooming out, increasing its field of view, until most of Orion's sword was visible. Andromeda had shrunk into a little fuzzball. She pressed the cable release and heard the faint click as the shutter opened. It would be a 20-minute time exposure. A faint breeze came from the ocean, clanking the rigging of a fishing boat, and all the boats in the harbor swung in unison. It felt like the first breath of a storm, despite the dead calm. An invisible loon called from the water and was answered by another one far away. "Time for another doobie." Jackie began rolling a joint, licked it, and put it in her mouth. A click and flare of the lighter illuminated her face, her pale, freckled skin, green Irish eyes, and black hair. Abby saw the sudden light before she saw the thing itself. It came from behind the church, the harbor instantly as bright as day. It streaked across the sky in utter silence like a ghost, and then an immense sonic boom shook the pier, followed by a blast furnace roar as the thing blazed over the ocean at incredible speed, disappearing behind Loud's Island. There was a final flash of light followed by